So yesterday was the second day of Packers OTAs, but it was the first media day where media was there, so we got to actually have some takeaways and have an eye into exactly what was going on with the Packers offense, defense, Jordan Love. And I wrote about all of it yesterday in my newsletter. If you want to read it, you can click the link down below. I wrote a lot about the updates, different things, offense, defense, Jordan Love. You can get an in-depth breakdown there if you haven't already read that. But now I want to go over some quotes from Jordan Love. He had a press conference after, or an interview after practice, about 10 or 11 minutes, and I want to go over some of the biggest quotes that I think are important to look at here for Jordan Love. So first off here, he says, "This is definitely the time to do that. Practice is a time to push the boundaries, test things. This is our second practice live, so the timing is a little off with everybody because we've been going routes versus air and things like that. So just kind of build that timing and get as many reps as we can, but we know it's not going to be perfect. We love when we can capitalize and score touchdowns, things like that. But just don't get down on ourselves when the play is not perfect or goes off schedule. Things don't work out as we want." So this time right now in Green Bay in OTAs is really a time to fix these mistakes, to sort of start to build that chemistry with Jordan Love, with these new receivers. Because outside of, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Samori Toure, guys who came in last season, who Love got some experience, got to build a little chemistry with through practices, especially with Aaron Rodgers not being present at lots of the offseason workouts last year. Love got to build some chemistry with those guys. But outside of those guys who were here last year, all these rookies, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Grant Dubose, lots of the undrafted receivers as well, they've only been in Green Bay for about 1 month now, almost a month, not quite a month, which means they barely know the playbook. They're starting to pick it up, of course. They haven't really had much time at all with Jordan Love, and yesterday was one of the first times for the offense to face off against the defense. They weren't wearing pads, but it was sort of that first live session, live period. And so, obviously, when it comes down to quarterback play, you need your receiver to be in the right spot at the right time. And I would assume that, with these young receivers here, it's going to take some time for them to know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So even in plays where Love knows exactly what's happening, he's on time with his footwork and all that kind of stuff, these receivers could not be exactly where they're supposed to be. So I think that these kinds of issues will get worked out as the offseason continues, as OTAs continue. And then hopefully as we get closer and closer to the season, all these things will be figured out and that chemistry will be, a lot more there than it currently is at this time. And so with Jordan Love, there were some positives and negatives yesterday, which I wrote about if you want to read that. But I think that overall, it's just going to take some time to build that chemistry with these young players. And considering, we're moving on from Aaron Rodgers, we're transitioning to Jordan Love. It's really, it's expected to have some road bumps, especially in the beginning here, as all the young players are learning the playbook and Jordan Love is learning how to run this offense. And then he says here, "I think it's still early right now. This is our first week practicing, starting live, practicing against the defense. It's not perfect right now. We know it's not going to be perfect. I think the meter for us is continue building. Make sure we're doing the right things in the right place on routes and route depth, timing, things like that. Building that trust to take in the meeting room to the field and make sure everything's dialed in from that aspect." So Jordan Love is the leader here in Green Bay, and watching his interview after practice, you can see that he's really stepped into that role as being the leader, as being the guy that people need to look to. And even though it is only his first season as the starter going into 2023, it's going to be his fourth year in the NFL. So he knows the playbook. He knows how he needs to operate. He was even asked about, the things he learned from Rodgers over the years about leading a team, and he said that he picked up lots of those things. And so I think that it's really cool to see Love in this new role because before he was just a follower, not really the leader in the room. And so now that Rodgers is gone, Love clearly knows that he is the guy here. He is the one who needs to help these young guys and really get them on the same page with him, help teach them the offense, and just get everybody situated where they need to be. And so it's going to be exciting to watch this young group grow together as they fix through go through some of these mistakes they're making and improve and sort of build that chemistry with each other. So that way when the season comes around, hopefully lots of the issues will be worked out, and we'll be able to see this offense hopefully play well as the season gets started. But those are the updates I wanted to share. As I said, if you want to see all that happened yesterday, I wrote about it in my newsletter. You can click the link down below. Feel free to read that, breaking down pretty much everything that happened at practice. But that's all I have for this one. If you want to stay up to date with all Packers news, feel free to subscribe down below. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.